Hello, beautiful people. Thanks for watching my channel. Thanks for coming and seeing it. I just came back from the hospital. Things are looking up. So hopefully I'll just have to go back today, later this afternoon. And then I'll be off the thing that I'm doing right now. And I should be able to get on with my life until the next lupus crisis. But for now, things are looking pretty up. I just came to take a shower and do a little video for you guys. And to talk a little bit about how expensive it is to be a humanitarian like Meghan Markle, and how she's laughing all the way to the bank. And I'll tell you why. Okay? And we're going to talk a little bit about people not wanting to hear sides of the story. I have asked one of my subscribers, because I've tried to look up the 1836 UK Marriages Act. For some reason, gone. I can't get it. I don't know if it's because of the limitations of the country I'm in or what, but I can't find it anywhere. And before I could find it, no problem. Okay? I get the 1949 Act, but I want the 1836 one, especially I think it's Chapter 3, Article 45, the 45 section, where it pertained to royal marriages, because it said that royals are not allowed to marry in a civil ceremony, because any royal with direct ascension to the throne could not marry in civil ceremony, because it would disqualify him or herself from ascending the throne, from being in the line of succession, because the monarch is the head of the Church of England. So all the marriages have to be done in church ceremony. Otherwise, Meghan Markle and Harry would have married in a civil ceremony, right? Or all of them would marry in a civil ceremony, but that's not the case. But for some reason, it's disappeared. So I've asked them to go and send it to me, so I'll show it to you. Later on in this video, after I'm done talking with Meghan Markle, I'll show you where, if you go to UK Parliament, it clearly states that the 1949 Marriages Act and the subsequent one in 2013 have not was completely repealed, except 3 articles. And one of them is Chapter 3, Article Section 45, pertaining to royal marriages. So yes, that pretty much still stands to this day. Okay? And but I'll post it later on. But for now, I want to talk about how expensive it is to be Meghan Markle and the relaunch of the TIG from this humanitarian woman. Yeah. But before we tear into Meghan Markle, what the hell is that? This is the man, yes, the man, who suddenly became a woman. So he would be sent to prison, and the man was released. And the first thing he did was rape a woman with her penis, because now he identifies as a woman. So he raped a woman with her penis as soon as he was released. And I'm saying the word he because any person who has a penis is a man. I mean, how do you guys feel about it? This is in the UK. I don't know if you remember this case. The first thing this man did, who suddenly identified as a woman, was raped another woman. Rape a woman with her penis. And they're being very cheeky there, but there's nothing funny about the situation. Yes, the Duchess of Sussex, draped in thousands of dollars, goes and visits a women's homeless shelter, with a Chanel bag or whatever it is the hell that she was, with that fake smile. I guess, let's give her this. She took out the hair extensions because it's just a little witty bun there, okay? Let's give her that. But she goes draped in thousands of dollars that these women would never even think of making in a lifetime. I mean, those people are there because they have no food. They have nothing. Yet Meghan Markle thinks it appropriate to go there like that. And of course, bad grit is there. And in all of this, my question is the following. Where is her security that allows a paparazzi to get in there and send it to bad grade? So did Meghan Markle They have somebody take the pictures because we know that she likes to take her own photographer. Then she sent it to Backgrid, sold it to Backgrid, and then Backgrid resold it. Because there's no way in hell, or unless the charity allowed Backgrid to go in there and take the picture. But because where is her security? How is her security allowing this to happen? Isn't she intensely secretive? Because she's not private. We have established that. She's not private. She's secretive. So now she's relaunching the TIG. Meghan Markle, at the height of the TIG, she was making if I remember her tax return her makings was, she made about 60,000 Canadian dollars her third year on people, advertising. Remember the poop spray? Yes, those were the kind of advertisements she got in the TIG. And she was talking about the finer things in life and what she could get, right? She did a Sayonara Zara party because Zara, I love Zara. It's a pretty decent brand, and it's good enough for Queen Letizia. It's good enough for even the Queen of Denmark and the Queen of Maxima of the Netherlands, I think is and then for Princess Catherine and for many others, but not for dear Meggie, okay? Because Sayonara Zara. So this woman went as a D-lister. She knew that she had to go somewhere because she was the two main characters of her D-list show were leaving the show for something else. And she wasn't enough of a character or pulled enough audience to have her. There was no spin-off to the Rachel Zane show. The paralegal becomes a lawyer. There was no spin-off for that. So she basically got on a plane and went to the United Kingdom to find a job in a reality show. She had her heart set and made in Chelsea. She couldn't get it. I think she befriended Lisa Cundy or whatever her name is, and she wanted to be introduced to men, wealthy men, because she was looking for a boyfriend or possible husband. Because why would anybody, if she had so many opportunities in North America, if she was such a sought after actress, if there were so many opportunities knocking down her door, why would she need to go to the UK when Hollywood, which is the mecca of everything, it's right there, right next to her? Because of course nobody was banging on the doors, they were shutting them. So she went to the United Kingdom. She married Harry. She struck gold. She married Harry. And what did she do? She shut down temporarily everything she had. We know that she didn't bring her clothes from Canada. She fought to have, when Archie was born, and what people don't understand is not that she didn't want a title for Archie. She wanted the prince title for Archie, just like Charlotte and Louis had gotten. In spite of the fact that as per letters patent, they were not entitled to get them. So this is why she didn't use those titles. It's not that she didn't want the title. She wanted the title, which is prince. And she wanted the queen to make the same exception that she had made for Charlotte and Louis, which of course didn't happen, and that even pissed her off further. Okay? And the reason why she dressed so badly when she was doing official duties in the United Kingdom was because she was not making any money from the brands that she was wearing, because she wasn't getting any kickbacks from it. So now we know she's wearing all these expensive brands because I'm sure she's getting a kickback from it. So she shut down the TIG. She didn't bring her clothes from Canada or her personal belongings. And I'm going to clarify something. She never owned any property. To this day, actually, Meghan Markle legally does not own a property because the house in Montecito is owned by an LLC. Okay? But back then, she really didn't own anything. She didn't own a home. She didn't own a car. Everything was leased, I believe, by Suits, the show. And the show was ending. And the only reason they kept her around longer was because she made it known that she was Prince Harry's girlfriend. And they thought that they were going to increase the ratings. Which it didn't. It didn't. So then what happens is she's in the royal family. She realizes that she's not going to get the same privileges and that she's not on par with Catherine. This is why she hates Catherine, because she's not on par with Catherine. She doesn't like walking by. She thought she was going to be walking ahead and she was going to be the princess and, whatever. That she wanted to get the same privileges as Catherine, which she can't, because as I said yesterday in the video before yesterday, there's a pecking order. Harry was sixth in line to the throne. And Prince William, was the son of the heir of Prince Charles, the firstborn. So yeah, there was a pecking order, and Harry was in the sixth position of that. Now he's in the fifth position. He's gone up. But Meghan realized that no matter what, she was always going to be the wife of this, not even despair anymore, because Harry was no longer despair. Okay, despair right now is Princess Charlotte. So you know, it's not Harry. So even the title of that book makes no sense, because he's no longer despair. I did a video about that. He stopped being despair the minute that Prince George was born. So yeah, this is what Meghan wanted. But she didn't want it because she wanted to stay in the royal family. She never intended on staying in the royal family, ever. She hit the jackpot and she wanted to go back to California with the titles. And she bid her time until she realized that Archie was not going to get the prince title, and she was not allowed to keep the kickbacks, and she had to walk behind Catherine. And they were not allowed to monetize anything about anything, and that Harry was not a billionaire, because I firmly believe that had Harry been a billionaire, she would have maybe hung around longer. But when she discovered he wasn't, and that actually his funds were very limited, and his privileged life was due to the royal connections and the fact that he had access to a black book and that people answer his phone call for being a prince. I mean, who else gets to stay at Courtney Cox's home without knowing her other than a prince? And then he goes and trashes her and lies about, having illicit drugs in her home that she supplied for him, and nothing happens. Okay? So when Meghan saw that, she said, to hell with it. I have access to this black book. And that was further confirmed when a very, very senior A-list actress who was already slated to do the elephant voice for the voiceover for the elephant, or narrate the elephant for Disney, was bumped immediately because Harry took his wife. He skipped a military veterans thing to take his wife to basically pimp her out to Bob Iger, I believe his name is. And she saw how quickly that A-lister was discarded to give her a place to do the narrating. So how can things not get to her head, if you ask me? It is very obvious that everything that Meghan Markle has done has paid off. I know that people say that Charles called her tungsten, because she was like, she is basically going over everybody to get what she wants. But it has worked. Right now, Meghan Markle she doesn't care what anybody thinks. She doesn't care how inappropriate or the optics of anything. What she cares is that she got what she wanted, which is her kids being prince and princess of the royal kingdom. Okay? Now, the prince and princess titles, guys, they were bestowed because of the proximity to the king and because they were going to be doing royal duties. We know that's not the case with either of them. Okay? And please beware. I'm going to leave this little video so you can listen to it. It's from the Black Belt Barrister.
UK Constitutional Law blog, which I'll link in the description below. I'm going to cherry pick the opening of the concluding thoughts paragraph, which you can read in full at the link in the description below. This is obviously not a sponsored video. It begins, in essence, the monarch decides who becomes a prince or princess, and the rules are manipulated to achieve the desired outcome. The basic fact should be embraced, as any mystique the 1917 letters patent creates is outweighed by the disadvantages that flow from its unequal and untransparent nature.
As you can hear, he says that it's entirely up to the king to give the titles. Now, the 1917 letters patent, whenever they want to, they use it. Whenever they want to, they don't use it. That letter has been made redundant. Okay? Now, because if that's not the case, and if things stand, because some people say, well, the parts of the letter that were not abolished still stand. If we go by that, then the Marriages Act of 1836 was repealed by the Marriages Act of 1949, except 3 chapters. One of them being chapter 45, which is very important because in that chapter it says that all senior royals, the heir apparent, and the following one, have to be married in a church ceremony. They're not allowed to be married in the civil registry. They're the only ones not allowed to marry in civil registry, and if they do, they are disqualified from succeeding the throne. It's there. So I am posting these right now. Please pause it and read it. This is in the UK Parliament thing where it says, you will see one thing that says the UK Parliament, and then it says Marriages Act of 1949, and at the very bottom, I've highlighted it in red. Which articles it did not repeal, which articles are still standing to this day. And in 2013, the only thing of the Marriages Act that changed was to allow gay marriages. So if that is the case, when Charles married Camilla, he disqualified himself. This is why there was so much controversy, and this is why the Lord Chancellor had to resort to using a European Union Human Rights Convention to say that Charles was legally married to Camilla. Nobody was questioning the legality of the marriage, and this is where they used the most amazing sophistry I have ever seen. Nobody had ever questioned or has questioned the validity of a civil ceremony, of a civil marriage, ever. If it's done properly according to the laws stated in the Marriages Act in the United Kingdom. What people were pointing out is that royals can't be married in civil ceremonies, especially the heir to the throne, because he would eventually be the head of the church. And as such, he has to be married in a church ceremony. Not a little church blessing. No. Church ceremony. Okay? So this is the hypocrisy of it all. This is the selective view of the laws. This is the selective outrage. So now Meghan Markle is back in the United States. We know that she talked to Oprah and she said that the reason why she wanted security and why she wanted those titles for her kids is because of security. She didn't really care about the title. It's the security that comes attached with it. Now, it is my firm belief that Charles gave the Duke of Prince Edward, the Duke of Edinburgh, to kind of, there's a word in Spanish, contrarrestar, which is to compensate the outrage of him succumbing to giving into Meghan Markle through People magazine, which seems to be the official website of the monarchy, because within 24 hours, he basically did what People magazine told him to do. Okay? Instead of saying no, wait a minute. So he did that. So Meghan Markle now doesn't care about the optics. Meghan Markle doesn't care about anything, because she's gotten her way. She's gone back full circle to where she started. She's back in America, but instead of being just Meghan Markle, desperately trying to make it in Hollywood as an aging, less than average actress with aging looks, which were not very attractive to begin with when you compare it to the many beautiful women that are out there. Now she went back as the Duchess of Sussex. And she's relaunching the TIG, and this is not going to be for poop spray. This is going to be for millions of dollars of endorsement for herself, the TIG, not for Harry, for herself. And now, from what I understand, the SV, the South Valley Bank, people who deposited money in the bank are covered. Not if you invested. So if Meghan Markle and Harry didn't invest and they deposited the money, they're safe with their millions. As far as I understand, and please correct me if I'm wrong. So now Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, because she doesn't want to be called Meghan Markle. We know that because Gloria Steinem said it, that Meghan Markle came and said, let's cold call voters. And she was going, hello, it was Meghan's initiative to contact Gloria Steinem. And the only reason why she did it is because what Gloria Steinem was about, because Meghan Markle is a predator and she studies her prey. And she knows that Gloria Steinem is an aging idiot. So whether she wants to or not, she went on Access and said, oh, Meghan Markle is carrying the burden of being a princess. No, Meghan Markle is not a princess. She is not a burden because Meghan Markle can easily refuse to use her husband's titles, just like Harry can refuse them. But Gloria Steinem said, oh, she went on that and we fought a revolution. She doesn't understand how stupid she's sounding. So if she's admitted that the United States fought a revolution to fight to not have any royal titles, why is she cavorting with a woman who fights to use said title, and not only for herself but for her children? And then, while using those titles, still holding those titles, she goes of her own initiative and cold calls voters. And we know that Meghan Markle is pro-Democrat. We don't know what she said. We don't know because Gloria Steinem didn't go as far as to say we should ask them to vote Democrat. She just said that they call people asking them to vote. But we know, we will never know actually. But it's most likely that Meghan Markle and Gloria Steinem were urging people to vote Democrat. Okay, we know that Meghan Markle narrated Kamala Harris' commercial. So Meghan Markle, how can Meghan Markle not think anything other than what she's doing is working for her? Because in spite of the fact that she did not follow tradition, the culture of a royal christening, the fact that she hasn't presented the testimony from the doctors stating that the children were born out of her body, in spite of the fact that she has lied, committed perjury, defamed, and bullied people, she's back in the United States using a royal title, and she just managed to get royal titles for her children as well. Permanently. At least until King Charles dies, because we know it's easier to give than rather take. Okay? The deed is done. So now she's back full circle, but not as Meghan Markle, the D-list. And what's worse, her father. She paints herself as a humanitarian, draped. And I mean, I think the whole thing was about $50,000. I don't think this woman are ever going to see even $2,000 in their lives. I mean, how low can Meghan Markle go? She hopped on a plane to Uvalde to basically exploit the death of murdered children. And she took her photographers in tow and video. And you see her kneeling before it. And guess what? There was no outrage in the United States. Really, there wasn't. If anything, she was, oh, look, Meghan Markle has done that. And, you know, Archibald managed to do a playground for the kids. There was no outrage from anybody. So how can people not get that Meghan Markle doesn't care what anybody of you think, because she has People magazine who will pander to her. She will always find supporters. She has Black Tyler Perry. She has Oprah Winfrey. Yeah. She has the woke left on her side. Yeah, some of them don't want to be seen with her, but the hypocrisy of it all is that they all pander to her. So yeah, Meghan Markle is going to make millions from the TIG, not as Meghan Markle. It's going to be the TIG by the Duchess of Sussex. And she's going to be advertising Chanel, Valentino, Gucci, Carolina Herrera, whatever. Because who goes to a homeless shelter draped in thousands of dollars worth of clothing? And she knows what she's doing because her father used to take her. Doria, I don't think Doria ever took her. I think it was her father, but now Doria is claiming that she raised her on her own as a single black mother, even though she never had that conversation because, as Meghan actually said, she was never treated like a black woman. So I ask you, beautiful people, with all that I've given you, and I apologize, it's a little bit of a longer video. With all that I've told you, I mean, everybody benefits. I mean, the only people who benefit from Meghan being a humanitarian is Meghan Markle and Harry, but mostly Meghan Markle. Harry, I don't know if Charles agreed to give the titles because, he's an idiot. And because he gives into everything. And because what King Charles wants, what Prince Charles wanted, Prince Charles had gotten it. Just like when he said Camilla is non-negotiable, the Queen should have said neither is the crown. And as I said before, that's the only criticism I have of the Queen. Because I adored him. But, so Charles is very much like Meghan Markle and Harry. Because they make demands, and whatever they want, it's what they get. So how can they not? But for Meghan, in her mind, people keep asking, why does she keep doing this? And as I told you before, an abusive person, their behavior and their actions only escalate. And silence is compliance. I didn't invent that thing. Somebody told me that, and I heard it from the city. Because many people have asked me, why do you keep talking about it? because they're counting on us to keep quiet. And as I said, silence is compliance. I heard it somewhere and I thought it was fantastic. Just like sharing is caring. I remember I heard that. I thought it was fantastic. Okay? So silence is compliance. This is what I keep talking about it. So for the people in the UK, this is what you can do, because it's been made clear that the king, the monarch, is the one that decides everything in regards to royal titles and dignities. But you can start a UK parliamentary petition asking that you would like, don't mention Harry and Meghan, but you would like the succession bill amended that only royals born in the United Kingdom and residing physically in the United Kingdom can be in the line of succession, and that the document showing the test of the doctors testifying that the child was born out of the woman's body be brought back into law, because that used to be law. You can ask that. Start that petition and I will publish the hell out of it, because Parliament can look into that and they can amend that. You don't have to mention Harry and Meghan, and you can make it retroactive 2011. Okay? Ask him to be made retroactive to 2011. Or 2012. Because then Meghan's children will be not in the line of succession, so we won't have to worry about them. And the line of succession will change, because Parliament has said they can't do anything about titles, but they can about the line of succession. So you can do that. You can do that. You start a UK parliamentary petition asking that the succession bill, I'm repeating, be amended retroactively, so only children born in the United Kingdom and residing in the United Kingdom, permanently residing in the United Kingdom, can be in the line of succession. And to bring back the law where it stated that all royal births had to present the public document of the doctors testifying as to the fact that the child was born out of the woman's body. Because that used to be law. They removed that with the understanding that it was going to be protocol that the document be shown to the public. Because in order to be in the line of succession, there can be no doubt as to the fact that that child belongs there. Again, I apologize for the long video, but let me know what you think.